I just got another wild story sent in. And this time it's about a guy questioning if he was wrong for kicking out his wife and stepdaughter after discovering a years-long lie involving so-called work trips. Never thought I'd be the type of man sharing my broken marriage on Reddit, but here we are. I'm James, 46, married to Diane, 43, for the past 10 years. She has a daughter, Sonia, who's 19 now. I honestly believed our family was solid. Turns out, I couldn't have been more wrong. Like most men, I assumed everything in my relationship was fine. But it all started unraveling because of one simple mistake. Last month, I was cleaning out the garage to make room for a new lawnmower. We've been in this house for 8 years, and the clutter had piled up. While sorting through old boxes, I came across one of Diane's old suitcases. I figured it was just filled with forgotten clothes. Out of curiosity, I opened it. Maybe I'd find something to donate. Instead, I discovered a bunch of souvenirs, keychains, postcards, little trinkets. Nothing unusual. Except every single one was from places Diane had never once mentioned visiting. Now Diane travels all the time for work. She's in the pharmaceutical field, always off to conferences and meetings, or at least that's what I thought. I never questioned it. She'd come home with boring stories about presentations, networking, and sometimes even a small gift for me. A fridge magnet, a t-shirt, little stuff like that. But those mystery souvenirs wouldn't leave my head. I wish I could say I sat down and calmly asked her about it. Truth is, I didn't. Curiosity got the better of me, and once I started digging, I couldn't stop. First, I checked her email. Yeah, I know her password. We've been married a decade, it happens. I told myself I was just looking for travel confirmations. But what I actually found was way worse. The emails went back years. They were with some guy named Jeremy. At first, they seemed harmless. Industry talk, gossip, nothing unusual. But as I kept reading, the tone shifted. They became more personal, more intimate. Inside jokes I didn't understand. References to time they'd spent together. My stomach dropped. Still, I kept digging. Next, I checked credit card statements. There were charges from restaurants in Orlando, a city Diane never once said she traveled to for work. Hotel bills that didn't line up with her so-called conference dates. I even went as far as calling her office, pretending to be from IT doing a security check. Not proud of it, but I needed answers. That's when I got my hands on her actual work travel records from the past year. And what I discovered, I wish I could erase from my memory. Turns out, half of her work trips over the last 5 years weren't for work at all. She'd been flying to Orlando to see Jeremy. They'd met years back at a real conference, stayed in touch, and eventually it turned into a full-blown affair. She used her job as the perfect cover, seeing him several times a year. And here's the part that crushed me most, Sonia knew. She'd known for at least 2 years. I found messages between them where Diane coached Sonia on what to say if I asked questions. Sonia even covered for her mom a few times, lying to me that Diane had called when she hadn't. I felt like my entire world collapsed. 10 years of marriage. How much of it was a lie? And Sonia, the girl I'd helped raise since she was 9. I was there for her first day of high school. I taught her how to drive. I supported her through college applications, heartbreaks, every milestone. And the whole time, she was keeping this from me. That week was torture. Diane went on yet another work trip, and I had to pretend like everything was normal. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. Every memory we had together replayed in my mind. Was any of it real? I thought about the night I proposed, at that little Italian place where we had our first date. I was so nervous, fumbling with the ring, and when I finally got down on one knee, she said yes with tears in her eyes. Was that moment real? Or was she already thinking about Jeremy? I thought about all those times I kissed her goodbye at the airport, wishing her a safe trip. How many of those times was she actually flying out to him? And Sonia, every hug, every dad she called me, was it genuine, or just part of the cover-up? I wanted to confront them the second she got back, but I held off. I needed to stay calm and have all the facts before I said a word. For 3 days, I acted normal, dying inside each time she kissed me or Sonia smiled at me. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I waited until Sonia went out with friends. I couldn't handle facing them both at once. I sat Diane down in the living room, the same space where we'd shared countless happy evenings. I told her we needed to talk. The confusion on her face quickly turned to fear. She asked if everything was okay. I actually laughed. The thought that things could be okay was absurd. I looked her in the eye and said, "No, everything is not okay. I know about Jeremy." Her face went pale. She opened her mouth, probably to deny it, but I didn't let her. I laid it all out, every email, every suspicious charge, every travel record. With each piece of evidence, she seemed to shrink further into herself. When I finally finished, silence filled the room. Diane broke down in tears, mascara running down her cheeks. A part of me wanted to comfort her out of old habit, but a bigger part of me wanted her to feel the same pain she'd inflicted on me. She choked out an apology, said she never meant for it to go on this long, that she loved me, but had feelings for Jeremy too, claimed she was confused and didn't know how to end it. I told her straight, then go live with him. But I still needed to know. How long had my marriage been built on lies? She hesitated before whispering, 5 years, but it wasn't physical at first. We were just friends for the first 5 years, half of our marriage. Hearing that felt like a punch straight to the gut. Then I asked her about Sonia. How long had she known? Diane's face showed pure shock that I even knew her daughter was involved. 2 years, she admitted. She said Sonia found out by accident, and she made her swear not to tell me. Diane claimed she always intended to end things with Jeremy, but she didn't. She insisted she tried, but I didn't believe a word. I couldn't listen to any more excuses. I stood up and told her flat out, I want you out of this house. Go stay with your sister. I'll have divorce papers ready. She broke down, crying even harder. Please, James, we can fix this. I'll cut things off with Jeremy for good this time. I'll do anything. Don't throw away 10 years of marriage. I laughed, but it wasn't out of humor. You're the one who threw it away. Every lie, every trip to see him. You're the one who destroyed it, not me. She tried to argue, but I was done. I went upstairs, grabbed some of her clothes, and shoved them into the same suitcase that had started this entire nightmare. When I dropped it at her feet, I told her coldly, get out. Now. I can't even look at you. Diane left, still sobbing. The second the door shut, I collapsed. I cried harder than I had since I was a kid. For the marriage I thought I had, for the future I thought we were building, for the love I believed was real. But the hardest part came the next day, facing Sonia. She came home cheerful, full of stories from her night out with friends, like nothing was wrong. Watching her act normal made me sick. After dinner, I finally confronted her. Your mom is staying with your aunt. I know about Jeremy, Sonia, and I know you've been covering for her. The look on her face cut me deeper than anything, shock, guilt, fear all at once. She broke down immediately, sobbing. I'm so sorry. Mom made me promise not to tell. She said she'd end it. She told me if you found out, it would break up our family. And you believed her? For 2 years you lied to my face. Through tears, she said. I was scared of losing you. You're the only dad I've ever really had. I couldn't bear the thought of you leaving. A part of me wanted to hold her, to comfort her. After all, I'd been raising her since she was 9. I'd been there for every milestone in her life. But every time I looked at her, all I saw was betrayal. Pack your things. You're going to stay with your mom at your aunt's place. Her eyes widened. What? Please don't make me leave. She broke down again, but I didn't move to comfort her. You should have thought about that before lying to me for 2 years. I can't even look at you right now without feeling betrayed. You need to go. She ran upstairs, sobbing. I could hear her packing. When she came back down, her face was red and swollen from crying. One last time she pleaded, please. I love you, Dad. Don't do this. Hearing her call me Dad nearly broke me, but I held firm. Go. Now. The following day, I went to the bank and withdrew everything from our joint accounts, around $888,000. I know it probably wasn't legal, but I wasn't thinking clearly. Half of it was mine anyway, and Diane owed me for years of deceit. I moved it all into a new account under my name only. It's been 2 weeks. Diane's family has been blowing up my phone non-stop, saying I've gone too far. Her sister left a voicemail calling me a heartless bastard for kicking out Sonia. Her parents, people I thought loved me like their own son, are even threatening legal action over the money. Some of my friends agree, saying I crossed the line, especially with Sonia. They argue I punished a kid for an adult's mistake, that my anger clouded my judgment. But others say I'm completely justified, that Diane and Sonia both betrayed me, and now they're facing the fallout. I don't even know what to think anymore. Was I too harsh? Should I have tried to work things out with Diane? Was it wrong to kick Sonia out and cut her off financially right before her sophomore year of college? I second-guess everything. Every time Diane worked late or extended a trip. Was she with him? All those souvenirs she brought home. Were they just guilt gifts she picked up at the airport last minute to cover her lies? And Sonia, I can't stop thinking about her. Teaching her to ride a bike, cheering her on at soccer games, comforting her after her first heartbreak, moving her into her dorm last year. Was she thinking about her secret the whole time? Did she ever really see me as her dad, or just a convenient stand-in? I've started therapy. The counselor says I'm dealing with trauma, and my reaction is normal given everything I've uncovered. He's helping me work through the rage, the betrayal. But it's tough. Just when I feel like I'm making progress, something reminds me of Diane or Sonia, and I'm right back at square one. Now Diane's lawyer is involved, threatening legal action if I don't return at least half the money. Part of me wants to fight, to make them claw for every cent. But another part of me is just exhausted, tired of hurting, tired of fighting. Sonia has been emailing me non-stop, long, emotional messages begging me to forgive her, pleading to come home, promising she'll make it right. Reading them rips me apart all over again. I haven't answered any. I don't even know what I'd say. My own family is split. My parents are firmly on my side, furious over how I've been treated. But my sister thinks I've gone too far, especially with Sonia. She reminds me constantly that Sonia isn't my biological daughter, that she was caught in an impossible position by her mother. But to me, that almost makes it worse. I chose to love her as my daughter, and in return, she chose to betray that love. This whole thing has wrecked me mentally. Like I've said before, sometimes you have to protect your mental health above everything else. But when love's involved, it's not that easy to let go. I'm trying to focus on the future, but it feels impossible. Everything I thought I knew about my life and family has been turned upside down. Some days, I consider reaching out to Diane, just to hear her side in full. But then I remember all the lies, all the deceit, and I stop myself. So Reddit, am I the bad guy here? Did I take things too far, or was I right to do what I did? What would you do in my shoes? Man, this one's tough. Cutting Diane loose seems obvious since she cheated, but Sonia's situation is complicated. Remember, her mom pressured her into keeping the secret. People handle these situations differently. Thanks for listening. Until next time.